Winning cures everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in. Winning cures everything. It is Monday, June the 15th. I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And we have got a whole lot of stuff going on today. Good gracious. So, let's get this stuff out of the way first. Obviously, winningcureseverything.com is the website. The new site is live. Go take a look at it. Go share it out. Tell your buddies about it. We would definitely appreciate that. It's got all the picks, previews, podcasts, videos, social media platforms, etc. Anything that you could possibly need, it is going to be right there on the site. winningcureseverything.com. The new site is live. Go help us out and tell your buddies about it. After that, make sure you are subscribed to all of the different live feeds that we've got. We're on Periscope. We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Make sure that you jump in the comments. Right there in the bottom left of your screen, if you're watching the show live right now, is the comment box. And it doesn't matter which platform you are on, your chat, your message will pop up right there for everybody to be able to see and for us to be able to answer and talk about, because you guys help drive the conversation each and every day, and we definitely appreciate that. Next, the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to it, leave a nice review, share the show out, tell your friends about it. But when you subscribe, make sure it's set to download every day, all that kind of mess. That way, if you miss the live show, it's right there. You can pop in your ears and listen to it on whatever schedule you might be on. TunicaTravel.com. Tunica, Mississippi is the South's premier sports gambling destination. They've got 6 wonderful sports books. You can find more information on them over at TunicaTravel.com. All of their policies and procedures and whatnot to help keep you safe while this pandemic is going on. But they are open, and they are rocking and rolling. The Brown Yeti jumps in on YouTube already. He said, hey, first, I missed all the fun sports stuff in 98, being born in December. And then Damian Estrada said, what's up? So, yeah, I can understand that. You missed a lot, Brown Yeti. You missed a lot. It is all good. But we'll try and fill you in on everything that's going on. Now, let's move into sports stuff. And good gracious, was it a bananas kind of day. First topic of the day. Mike Gundy was photographed wearing an OAN shirt over the weekend while he was out fishing. Why is this a big deal, you may ask? OAN is One America News. Now, that shouldn't surprise anybody that he would be wearing that shirt. This is what he said back in April, by the way, when he was considered the crazy person about this coronavirus stuff because he wanted positive news to come out. He believed we were going to be back on June 1st. He thought that we were going to get to roll pretty soon. And everybody else in the news media thought it's the end of the world. Nothing good is coming out of this. Cases are still going up, da-da-da-da. He was thinking positive. This is what he said about it. I'll tell you what's funny is I was flipping through stations and I found one. I don't know if anybody knows about this. It's called OAN. It's One America News. It was so refreshing. They just report the news. There's no commentary, no opinions on this. There's no left. There's no right. They just reported the news, and I've been watching them the last week because they're giving us the news, giving us more information, in my opinion, and some of the positives that are coming out, so that was refreshing. That's what he said on April 7th. So for him to wear an OAN shirt should not be that big of a surprise. However, OAN also is incredibly right-wing. And they had a commentator on just last week that called Black Lives Matter a criminal organization. So obviously, tensions are high around this news network. So he wears an OAN shirt over the weekend. And today, the picture comes out, and Chuba Hubbard, who is his Heisman Trophy candidate running back, ran for over 2,000 yards last year.
Came back to school.
Yeah, came back to school.
Going into the NFL.
To play for Mike Gundy, and Chuba tweeted this out. He said, I will not stand for this. This is completely insensitive to everything going on in society, and it's unacceptable. I will not be doing anything with Oklahoma State until things change. Now, let me go on and say this. It's just a shirt. And I don't think that there's anything crazy about the shirt. Do I agree with what OAN puts out there? No. But everybody is so quick to jump to these rash decisions without ever talking things through. I personally believe that this is just going to lead to a conversation. The Mike Norvell stuff did the same thing. The Dabo Sweeney shirt, same thing, right? It leads to conversations. I don't believe that Mike Gundy is racist. I don't believe that he meant anything negative by wearing this shirt. Now, if they all have differences of opinions and he can't get his team back, well, that's a whole nother thing, right? But to immediately come out on social media and make a statement like this where you are basically boycotting football activities because your coach wore a shirt of a news organization that you don't agree with seems a little much. Am I crazy for thinking that, Chris?
Yeah, it's tough when I literally found this out today. I didn't know what OAN was. I guess I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a thing. But yeah, so once I found out who they were, I was like, like they're kind of like a little wag job media company. Okay. Yeah. And an anchor said something that we vehemently disagree with, and we think he's just flat out wrong. And it's a pretty racist statement to say that they're just a criminal organization. I would be upset, but that is, I don't know. I try really hard to be reasonable when it comes to some of these things and think, does that entire media company believe that? Yeah, there's a really good chance most of them do. But one of them said it. I get where Chuba is coming from, okay? I do.
Yeah.
And it's strictly from the comments of that one anchor, all right? You allowed this to be said on your airs. This passed through all of the filters that you guys have, and everybody approved it and agreed with it, and I'm not okay with that.
And obviously, there's more than just that, right? There's more to it than just that one statement.
So I don't know that, but here's the thing. I don't know that there has to be more to it than that.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is that news organization is known now over the past few weeks or whatever as being that. They are a far right-wing news organization. But I don't know that it means that the coach is awful, right?
No, I know. No, I mean, here's the thing. If these players think that they have anything in common with any of these coaches, then they're fooling themselves, yeah. Okay? They just are. Simply for the fact that these coaches are extremely highly compensated, okay? And these players are not. All right, let's draw the separation line from even your Lovie Smiths and your other black coaches that probably came from very similar neighborhoods than most of these players. All right, and they played in the league or they played major college football, whatever. They are not that anymore. Okay,
yeah, they
all live in big houses and nice gated communities now, because they're all highly compensated. And I'm painting with a broad brush. I don't know where all these guys live, okay? I have no idea. But I'm just working under the assumption that today when they're making 7-figure, 8-figure contracts, that they probably live a different lifestyle. So it's really hard to think this coach can really relate to me.
Yeah. No, I agree.
When you were broke and poor and in college, it was one thing. You might reminisce what it was like to be me 30 years ago. But we live in such a different time today than we did then. It's just really hard to draw any comparisons to that. So, yeah, do I think Gundy believes vehemently different than all of his players? Yeah, I do.
Now, before we get to the second half of this –
he has forever, by the way.
Yeah, no, he's always been like that.
Him wearing this shirt they didn't just find out, he's
talked about liberals and snowflakes and all that when it came up to transfers back 2 years ago.
He's been outspoken using language like that for a long time. It's never bothered anybody. It didn't matter to bother people. They just didn't feel brave enough to say something, and we now live in a world where kids feel brave now. I don't know which this is, but
Albert Lee Malvo on Periscope jumps in and said OAN is not far right-wing. They're conservative, pro-America, not racist, not militia. They don't care about coach relating. They just want to coach to get them to the NFL. He's talking about Gundy there. Josh Hammer on Facebook said, at work, so I shared for y'all. Y'all get it? Hey, we appreciate that. Absolutely. If anybody wants to hit that share button, we would appreciate that. Let's see. Albert said, BFD, would an NBC or CBS shirt not be okay? And then Damien said, did he wear a Make America Great Again hat too? No, he didn't wear a MAGA hat. He did not wear that. Look, obviously, we're not going to get on one side or the other here. Damien said, what news media ever or did not ever pick sides? I hope I said what he was meaning there. And then the Brown Yeti said, so are we going to botch anything that I don't agree with? And then Albert said he had a mullet forever. I don't know that a mullet necessarily means he's one thing or another, but it is what it is. So, look, the Brown Yeti's saying, so are we just going to botch anything that I don't agree with? I think that's kind of what social media has turned this into. Now, what I do want to discuss when it comes to Gundy is on the other side of this, like we can talk about Chuba and whether or not he should be boycotting or whatever. The other side of this is, Mike Gundy, be smarter. Like, read the room and understand what is going on in this country right now. You lead a group of about 100 young men between the ages of 18 and 22, 23, right? Understand what is happening with the majority of your football team and choose to leave the shirt in the drawer at the house, even if you're going fishing. Like, it's a dumb decision to go out and wear something that could even remotely be considered controversial. That's the biggest problem that I have right here. Why would you ever decide to pick that up and wear it? It's Dabo wearing the Football Matters shirt, right? Like, there's no reason. You've got other attire. Put on something else for right now. The timing is not good for that shirt. I'm not saying get rid of the shirt. I'm saying just don't wear it right now because it has the potential to divide your team.
You're asking him to care about these things. He doesn't.
But he has to if he's going to lead men that are 18 to 23 years old, and the majority of which are black, that probably are not going to agree with him. And I understand that he shouldn't have to care about it, but he does have to care about it, especially right now. It is the timing of the situation. I think you can at least agree with that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good look. I mean, but Gundy just hasn't given a damn what anybody thinks ever.
Yeah.
I kind of thought if there was going to be one coach that pushes back on, this super player kind of empowerment that's going on right now, and what we're seeing in college sports, it wasn't going to shock me if it was going to be him. He just doesn't seem like he cowed down to anybody.
No, and I don't know that he's going to in this situation, which...
No, I don't either.
I mean, we'll see.
Him and Chuba could have a conversation. It could end up being Chuba transfers and or walks away. That's fine. That could happen. Chuba could lead a lot of other of the black players, and a lot of his recruiting class could take a hit. Oklahoma State will then have to make a decision on, is this good for our school? Is it not? And all of these things will be decisions that people have to make, but they're all going to stem from what does Mike want to do? Because he does have a right to wear the damn shirt. I mean,
yeah. And if he wants to come out to his players and say, okay, I made a mistake.
That's not going to happen.
Or whatever. Or at least explain.
They might have an intelligent conversation that we'll never hear.
That's what I'm going for. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to hear any of it, but I will bet everything I know that when he walks in that room, it will not start with, I made a mistake. That is just not the Mike Gundy that I have known and watched forever.
Yeah. No, you're right. Let's get to some more of these comments here. Albert said, good topics, nice scope here. William jumps in on YouTube. This is the first time, I think, for Albert and William. William said, poor Gundy, such a sad job it is to coach for the Stadies, LOL boomer. So we got us an Oklahoma guy in here, it looks like. Albert said, yep, supercharged environment right now. And then he asked if he missed our insight on the Iowa situation. That is coming up immediately after this. The Brown Yeti said, everything is controversial nowadays. He has no reason to back down. Chris was just saying that. Yep. And William Brown said, remember when Tyreek Hill played for Oklahoma State? Gundy never cares for the opinions of others. Future NFL stud gets in trouble and he's gone. Gundy is his own man. Yeah, I can believe that. So we'll see what happens in the situation because I think Oklahoma State has one hell of a team this year. They've got a lot of talent coming back. And we'll see. I mean, I don't believe that they're going to fire him over this, but if you lose your locker room.
Yeah. If you lose the locker room, you're going to get fired next year. And
now,
it won't be because of the T-shirt.
No, it'll be because it'll be because team do not agree.
You have taken yourself out of the ability to do the job. You can no longer lead these men.
Correct. He's got
that's like buyout. The number one qualification to be a coach is you must be able to lead these people.
Yes, you are correct. All right, so that being said, let's dive into the next topic. Iowa settles with their strength coach, Chris Doyle. He is, they have separated. Basically he got fired and got some money on the way out, right? Yeah. He was making $800,000 a year, and well, now he's not. But he gets to walk away with $1.1 million, and they just split, and they're doing another independent investigation into the racial disparities that are going on inside of that locker room and the cultural problems that they are attempting to figure out where things went wrong. I want to say good for Kirk Ferentz, and Gary Barta, the AD, has said that he is going to stick by Kirk Ferentz. But it is hard for me to believe that Ferentz did not know that this stuff was going on. I feel like Ferentz is the one that set the culture. Now, did he do the things that that Doyle ended up doing? No, that wasn't him. But I can't praise Ferentz too much for this because I feel like he was a part of instituting this culture. So
I'm not going to praise him, but I'm not going to kill him either. I mean,
right, and that's what
did he just not take it seriously when he heard these things were happening? Maybe, and there's definitely some I don't know what you would say, some blame to go for that.
Yeah,
but I also don't know what complaints actually got to him in the past.
Yeah, no, that's true. Albert jumped in and said he was the highest paid strength and conditioning coach in America, right? Yes, $800,000.
Simply because the highest paid strength and conditioning coach left Alabama for Georgia.
Even still, I think Cochran was only making like 700 and whatever million. So it was, or not million, excuse me, $100,000, whatever. He was making less than Doyle, but Doyle had also been there since 1999. I mean, 21 years. That's
a long time to hold a job. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think getting him a $1.1 million severance package to walk away is fine.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. That's not a massive buyout.
No. This guy will find employment elsewhere, maybe not in the college football world, but he knows how to get people in shape.
He knows how to build linemen
ready to do things. So yeah,
I could see him going to the NFL. He can build offensive linemen like nobody's business.
He's good at what he does, and he'll be fine.
Yeah. William Brown said, Ferentz has always had my respect, but this hurts. He had to have enabled, right? Guy's been the head honcho for decades. Yeah, he brought in Doyle as soon as he got hired. He is the longest tenured head coach in college football, and Doyle has been his right-hand man who helps instill that culture for the head coach the whole time. So Michael Fritz jumps in. He said, what's up, fellas? Michael, how you doing, buddy? Glad to see you back in here. So, yes, now I will say this. It does suck. Like, if you were a player that had to go through some of that stuff, that you felt uncomfortable in that locker room, that you felt uncomfortable having to deal with Doyle, to see him get over $1 million to walk away, and then you have to come back and play during a pandemic season, now obviously they don't have to, because that AD at Iowa has said, if you want to sit out due to concerns over the coronavirus, then you're still going to have your scholarship when you come back.
Right.
But it's still got to sting a little bit to see him walk away with that money. But I mean,
But
there's
that's
no
how
right way to go
contracts-
about that.
yeah, that's just how contracts work.
Yeah.
Okay. We're in a sticky situation of there's not a whole lot of proof. There's more probable than not that we believe he did some of the things that he did, I guess, or else they wouldn't have fired him if they believed that he didn't. Okay. But because he is under contract and he's owed certain amounts of money, you have to negotiate some type of buyout.
Yeah.
Seeing him gone and away from your program, if you were a victim of this, has got to be some sort of positive. While you don't want to see him get a check and get paid on his way out, it's better than seeing him continue to be there and you don't have enough to fire him with cause simply because of how labor laws are written, which are a good thing, not a bad thing. And then also just the nature of the complaint being we've got these complaints. They go back several years. It's really hard to see what happened. And we believe it happened, but we don't have enough that would hold up in a court.
Yeah.
And that's the difference is we're going to fire him because we believe you. But our attorneys will tell us if we fire him for cause, he will sue us and get you'll see us write him a much bigger check than 1.1 million. So let's let him just get gone. Let's pay him off and let's get out of this.
And let's try and rebuild this culture.
I think if you're a player and you were a victim of this, rather in the past or a current player now, having him not wear the uniform that you wore that matters to you has to be a win. It just has to be.
Yeah. I think I agree.
This is something that I've harped on a lot throughout this stuff that we're going through. Now, it's easy for me to say this because I'm not one of these people that have to go through any of the shit that these guys go through, okay? But I believe in finding victory in things. And when you find the victory, don't nitpick the victory, okay? It's too damn hard to get a win in all of these cases all the time. When you get the win, don't nitpick the win. Just take the win and fight the next fight because there's too many fights in front of you to keep looking back to see, well, did I win that 100%? Did I win that 90%? What did the judges score? No. Did your hand get raised? Did you get what you wanted at the end? Yes. Then we got another fight in front of us. The fight is too big and it's too hard to keep looking back and nitpicking the victories that we come across.
Yes, I agree. William Brown, Albert said, yes, good take, Chris. William Brown said maybe karma catches up and Campbell's Cyclones finally get a dub over the Hawkeyes this year. It'd be nice. I mean, it seems like every single year.
That game has been one of the funnest games every year. Or craziest, maybe not always fun, craziest games every year.
Definitely bananas. Up there a little more, Albert said somebody either knew about it and condoned it or someone's making it up. But Chris, you hit the nail on the head there. I think take the win, move on, and then we'll figure this thing out as we go. I think it's good on Iowa. Go ahead and get this culture shift changing and get it moving in the right direction, and then we'll figure out the rest of the stuff later.
At some point, and I'm going to harp on this a little bit, and I don't mean to, because like I said, I've never been a victim of this, so it's hard. I can't walk a mile in your shoes. I have no idea what it's like, okay? But what I think is I don't even know how I want to say this without.
I'm not sure where you're going.
No, I'm debating on if I even want to. So let's say Kurt Ferentz allowed this stuff to happen.
Okay.
And then he became educated and realized, man, I was wrong. And everything that I used to think was ignorant and foolish and wrong. And I've changed my opinion and I've changed my thought. And now I've got to begin to change the culture. Okay. I think there's something beautiful to that. I appreciate the fact that we sometimes get second chances like that to admit that we were wrong, even in leadership. And you don't have to cut the cord completely and just fire that person and say you no longer get to work again. But he saw the error of his ways in the past, and he's beginning to change that culture. There has to be some bonus for that, because there was a day and a time where I was ignorant and I was foolish and I said things that I regret, and I can't ever go back and change them. I'm not that person today, but at some point in time, if we all grew up a certain way, if you see the light and you find the shift and you change your mind, mentality, and actions going forward in life, if I'm going to be held to the worst standard that I ever had in my life, then I'm just always going to be guilty.
Yeah, No, you're right. It's the most cliche thing in the world to say, I won't let that moment define me. But that's basically what cancel culture does, right? They define a person by the one worst moment that they've ever had, right?
And this I'm not saying this is the worst moment. If this happened over a decade or 20 years,
right,
then this isn't a moment, but this was I used to be this person. And now I see this world and I see what's going on. And you know what? The people in the streets have shown me I'm wrong.
Yeah, no.
And
I get what you're saying.
Who I am to live in this world that we live in today. And I think that's a victory for the protest.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Albert said, when do you guys think first weekend of college football will be? August 29th. I think there will be the games on August 29th.
I am standing by that. Yep. I get a little nervous as I see some of the corona tick-ups happening in the South.
I think we're still going to be fine.
But I'm going for it with not just starting. I'm still riding butts in the seats, man.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Damien jumped in on YouTube, said, my question is, why did it take them so damn long to let all of this come out? Well, here's the situation. All of the players did not feel comfortable or strong enough to come out and say this until everything that started happening around this country. When more people started speaking up, it was kind of the Me Too movement as well, right? Once one person was brave enough to stand up and say something, everybody else came out and said something.
Some of this stuff is really hard to walk in and say.
Yes.
Okay? Because you don't know that the people there are even going to believe you.
Yeah.
And therefore, this guy is a big, powerful person, and you're just a kid that's told, do what you're supposed to do. You want to stay here at Iowa, you do what you're supposed to do.
You want to get a shot at the NFL, do what you're supposed to do.
You do what you just fall in line, and today they have power.
And more than they've ever had it. So it looks like Chris froze. There we go. We got you back.
It looks like you froze.
That's so far, I hadn't dropped any frames, so
all right.
We'll see. Michael said, cancel culture needs to be canceled. It makes me sick. And then Albert said, hope so, and that's talking about college football. Let's move on to the next topic here. Major League Baseball making some news. Now, it's not the news that we necessarily want right now, but, we'll take this for right now. MLB and AT&T's Turner Sports have agreed to a blockbuster extension for their League Championship Series playoff rights, Andrew Marchand of the New York Post reports. While exact price tag per year and duration are unknown at this time, he said there have been talks about raising the annual cost from $350 million to in the range of $500 million per season. That is bananas. And he said it's definitely a blow to Disney's ABC ESPN, which had hoped to acquire these rights. But they can, obviously, ESPN is still going to have baseball, all that kind of mess. This is incredibly weird to have these talks and to get this kind of a deal done while you are in the middle of complaining to the players about how you're not making money this season, right? Like it's tough to win either side of this right now when that comes out. And I didn't know what to think of this.
All right, so I see this a little differently. Okay. These conversations are happening now because they're in a big stalemate with the players. And the only thing that they feel like they can do to get their sport back is they got to find a way to make more money.
Okay.
And so if you renegotiate your deals that you have, and on the back end of this thing, you have a lot more money coming in, they might be willing to make a better deal with the players today. So if this year they do operate at a loss or whatever it ends up happening in their finances, they kind of can play a long game. Yeah. The players are unwilling to play a long game, and that's fine. Not saying one side's right or wrong, but this gives them the ability to play a long game.
That makes sense. That's
why these negotiations haven't been happening for the last 3 months. These negotiations recently started, and kind of came to what we think is going to happen, and all that's happened during this stalemate with the players over the last, couple of weeks.
Let's jump into the chat here. William said, with regards to college football's return, just pray Oregon doesn't, quote, duck out on the North Dakota State game. Now, I would love to see that game happen. So I'm hopeful, but we'll see. Albert jumped in. I hope it doesn't end up with too many false accusations like Me Too did. Agreed. Like, you hope that there are no false accusations. These just seem a little more.
I think they're a little similar. I think they're very different situations.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Will Gomez jumped in on Periscope. What's up, brother? How are you? Don't be surprised if we have games, but no fans if we see spike tick up. Good gracious. Spike tick ups after the first week. Agreed. Like, we'll see, but I'm like Chris. I'm going to take every over right now. I think the stadiums
right now. I'm still sitting on all the overs. I'm just betting they're gonna let them. Football, I just feel like the game of football believes it's too big.
Yeah, like they're gonna do it.
And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Once again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. Don't do research. I don't know any of this shit. I just know enough to know there's way too much money on the line for these schools and for the NFL, and I just think they are going to tell people, you're going to sign a waiver when you buy that ticket that says, if you get sick here, that's on you.
Yep, not our fault.
But welcome in. We have 80,000 seats available.
Damian Estrada jumps in on YouTube, said MLB going to be the next WCW. Tyrone said, hello, guys. Tyrone Davis in. What's up, man? He said, what do you think about NBA starting back up in July? I think we hit on that on last Friday's show. So you can go back and watch that.
Well, a lot of things happened over the weekend that might change that, but that's...
they came out and kind of refuted some of that. We got to dig more into that today because there were more reports that came out. Like, there was the Kyrie thing, and then there wasn't the Kyrie thing. Like, I don't know what's going on. We're going to have to read a little more on that. Let's see, 2020 virtual baseball. They were doing virtual racing for a little while.
No.
MLB The Show. Just show
No. No.
Will jumped in. He said, nobody's going to stop watching. The demand is so much higher because actors aren't working either. Agreed. Like, I don't think anybody's going to stop watching anything when sports comes back this year. But we'll see.
The ratings are going to be unbelievable, even if they're all on at the same time. It just doesn't matter. Here's what's funny, okay? We spent the last 4 months stuck in our house. At some point in time, sports are going to come back on. Our asses aren't leaving the couch again for another 6 months.
Yeah.
Because we just got to catch up on all these sports that we've been missing.
Exactly. Brown Yeti said 99.8% survival rate. That means we are in the stands. Yeah, I agree.
Listen, dude, it could be 70% survival rate. I think the NFL, I don't know about college, I think the NFL will put butts in the seats, and they're going to just, at the back of your ticket says, if you bought this ticket, this is on you.
Yeah. William Brown said TV deal values will just rise with more people watching from home. There are some conference deals coming up in the next couple of years, too. Even Hulu might make a play. We'll see. Obviously, everybody understands these are strange circumstances that are going on right now. Yes, I could see Hulu making a deal for, Big 12 rights coming up in 2023 or 2025, whatever it is. We could see more conference expansion. We can see all kind of different stuff going on with that. But, who knows? Who knows? Let's move on to a topic that is near and dear to Chris's heart, because I know he had fun with this one on Saturday. The New York Yankees apparently got a letter that is sealed that a judge said needed to be unsealed, and all the rumors are that this letter says that they were caught cheating. They were caught sign stealing back in 2017, which was the same season.
2015 and 16 and 17.
Oh, it was 3 years? Oh, I didn't even read that part.
They got the letter in the 2017.
Okay.
It was over 2015 and 16.
You go ahead and fill me in on the details here.
We don't have any details. That's it.
But that's what it is.
What the letter says. But let me tell you something.
There it is.
This is why I don't understand how players, when the Astros got caught, fans can be all upset as you want. But if you think the Astros are one of 30 teams and they're the only ones doing this, and they've had free agents and trade players leave their organization over the last 5 or 6 years and go to other teams. They've had coaches and managers leave their organization and go to other teams. And that means they're just not taking these tricks. They're not telling other teams how this is happening. No, we don't get word of this because all 30 teams are doing something like this. If you say, well, but what the Astros are doing are so over the top, that's only because you now know the details of what's over the top. Yeah. So when I see Aaron Judge look into the camera, tear coming down his eye, Aaron over here, telling the world, I just feel like my MVP was stolen from me. Listen, this bastard is a guy that went from being so bad at his job, he would not get out of his hotel and get a house or an apartment because he didn't think he would make the team to 2015, 2016, one of the best hitters in baseball. I wonder what happened. I wonder what switch just flipped to where he led the world in strikeouts. This guy was going to be worse than Adam Dunn as just the big donkey of 350 strikeouts and 30 home runs. Okay? That was what he was looking at for the rest of his life and hoping that he could maintain the job. And now we find out, maybe those seasons he was getting pitch tips and he had the audacity to call out. Listen, you can be mad at the Astros as fans. That's fine. If you're a player and you know your team was doing some sort of sign stealing, I'd be real careful to throw rocks, okay? I'd just be real careful. This is called karma. This is what you get. You get your comeuppance. And if Manfred tried to cover this up, this is a gots-to-go situation. I want his ass hurled out a window.
I agree. To go out, let's see, Tyrone said Yankee Spankies. The Brown Yeti said they're the ones that got caught. William said, Ben, they would be good, but Kleiman is already at K-State. He is the GOAT. I didn't even see Ben comment. Oh, Ben said North Dakota State to the Big Ten. Sorry. Let's see. Michael said, hi, you ain't cheating if you ain't trying. Believe that. Or you ain't trying if you ain't cheating.
Listen, I am not opposed to the sign stealing. I am very much opposed to everybody getting their feelings hurt when they heard the Astros were doing this. And I thought, man, teams have been stealing signs forever. Well, so now they're using technology to do it, and that shocks you? Are you kidding me? And you're offended by it, and you're upset by it? Come on.
Michael said baseball's a bunch of snobs. They turn an eye on cheating as long as it benefits them. Let Bonds in the hall.
Now, we're never going to find this out because this team hasn't been good enough to make a damn, okay? But I want somebody to find the A's too, because the two bleeding heart hitters were Mike Trout and Aaron Judge come out whining. They just cheated the game. I just feel so violated playing against them and losing all the time when they beat me. Get over it, boys.
Well, I knew you were going to jump in on that one. I love it.
It's just such baby.
I know.
Listen, you've got the balls. I mean, you've got, at least the NFL had the brains to say Roger Goodell goes to the owner of the Steelers and says, I've got the Patriots videotaping a practice of yours in my investigation. What should I do? Art Rooney looks at him. Art Rooney Jr. looks at him and says, burn the tapes. Because if you dive down deep, you're going to find we got tapes on their asses too.
Everybody got it. Everybody's doing it.
And he calls his buddy at the Baltimore Ravens and says, I got him with videotapes of you. Both owners said the exact same thing to Roger Goodell. Burn the tapes. All 32 teams are recording one another. Put a blanket statement out that says you can't do this anymore, but stop this investigation right now or you're going to ruin the sport. You know what Roger Goodell did? He burned the video footage. Yes. Nobody ever was able to see what he saw because the Patriots knew if you expose us, we are going to expose all 31 other teams, and now your league is in trouble. Do you not
On
think
fire.
that the same coaches that worked for the Patriots and left the Patriots to work at all these other organizations didn't know what was happening and they just allowed it? No, they knew. One of the reasons they got the job was because, oh, you're better than our camera crew guy, so we're going to let you run it. Like, this is just part of it. Now, and then it stopped. So baseball said stop, and now it's stopped. But all these teams that came out bleeding heart, just so sad and so, oh my gosh, I feel so cheated. I feel so violated. Please give me a break. Aaron Judge, oh, find a bus, buddy. Find a bus and walk in front of it, my friend.
Damian said, damn it, when are the Patriots going to be investigated for cheating to get all them Super Bowls? You already tackled that. He's just trying to pick fights with you. I see what's going on.
That's all right.
Ben said the A's aren't doing this. The Coliseum doesn't have any technology for that. There's still troughs in the bathrooms.
Hey,
Yeah.
But that's why the A's are the one team that dimed them out, by the way.
Yeah.
Is because, yeah, you're right. I don't know that there's a camera anywhere in Oakland's
No, it's not.
to do this.
William said, baseball cheating doesn't offend me very much. Us either, because everybody does it. Like,
It's just a historical thing.
yeah.
You can't follow the history of baseball and not follow
It's
the
the
cheating.
integrity of the game. It's the, yeah. Tyrone said, I would do it. Yeah, I mean, me too. Damian said, wait, didn't the Red Sox get caught cheating a few weeks after the Astros got caught cheating? Yeah, but the Red Sox didn't win a title that year. It was bigger.
We did, but here's the thing. Like, what they found was, and they never really released the details, they just said the Red Sox were trying to do some sort of sign stealing, but it was way different than what the Astros did, and they downplayed it. Listen, it might have been way worse than the Astros, and finally Manfred just realized, I got to quit doing this shit because all 30 teams are doing it.
All these teams are going to get in trouble, yeah.
And so I'm going to crush the Astros, and then which sucks because the Astros manager definitely didn't deserve to be fired.
No, agreed.
I'll tell you this, if I needed a manager right now, I'd hire that guy. I'd hire that guy right now.
I will say this. They got the worst punishment of anybody because they had to go hire Dusty.
Oh, God, you're right. You're right. Oh, no, yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. The Red Sox, I was upset that we were starting spring training back in February, and they still hadn't named a manager, and I even sent them a couple of emails saying I'd be willing to do it. It just because I don't know how we started spring training without a manager. That's weird. Then they named an interim manager, and I was like, what are we doing? Like, you're a world-class organization. How are you not having I'm going to tell you what they're doing. They're going to let Alex Cora serve his 1-year suspension, and then that interim is going to move right back over, and Cora's going to take that spot. And I'm actually very much okay with this. This is what I think college sports should do all the time. I told Ole Miss this forever. Hugh Freeze gets 2-year bans, what I thought he was going to get. I thought he was going to get crushed. He got nothing. Yep. But I'd have sat his ass on the bench. I'd have paid him for 2 years. I'd have hired an interim to come in, and then or would have promoted somebody up. And then when his sentence is over, brought him back.
Right back
Tennessee
on the bench.
with Bruce Pearl said the exact same thing. Oh, they're going to make you suspend him? Then suspend him.
Yeah.
And then pay him. And then when he's done, bring him back. Because finding good coaches is just too damn hard.
Yes, it is. Will Gomez said, I just want to know how many cell phone burners Tom Brady has. I mean, I'd imagine it's got to be a few, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he just destroys them before they can get to it anyway. The Brown Yeti said, you can cheat, but don't get caught because you're going to go under the bus. Brown Yeti said, everyone's doing it, but you messed it up for everyone. And then Damian Estrada said, Red Sox need David Ortiz as manager. You agree with that? You think he'd be a good manager?
No, he probably wouldn't. But here's who I wanted them to hire as manager. I now fully believe that they're just going to let Cora come back, which is what I'm happy with. There was one of the people that they interviewed was Jason Varitek, and I would love to see VTech back in that uniform. Yeah. So listen. I don't know if he'd be a good manager or not. He knows Boston. He knows that team, and he was a hell of a catcher. And catchers just historically make really good managers. I'm good with this.
Wild Bill jumps in on YouTube. He said, how about them Cowboys? Hey, is there anybody and we're not talking about this today so much, but is there anybody in the world that you expected to get coronavirus less than Ezekiel Elliott? I mean, as much as that guy goes out.
I thought he would get something that needed penicillin more than hydrochloroquine or whatever the hell they're giving them for that.
Bill wanted me to toss over to you a hook 'em horns, so just had to throw it out to you.
No, that's fine.
He's been around for a little while if he knows about that one. You and the Texas fan base don't get along real well.
That's okay. That's right.
William,
we get along fine now after we beat their ass. That was okay. They all kind of stopped, and I stopped.
There you go.
Because I don't believe in punching down.
Well, hell, they'll be coming back for September, so we'll go. William Brown said, "I'll co-sign on Veritech managing, 100%." Yeah. Let's move on to this last topic of the day. Write my time down here. Da-da-da. Last topic. Ohio State football is asking players to sign a waiver before returning to practice. Now, more than likely, this is going to become commonplace, I do believe, in college sports. Ohio State football began voluntary workouts earlier this week, but before any Buckeyes started those team-sanctioned activities, they had to sign an acknowledgement of risk waiver due to COVID-19. The Columbus Dispatch obtained the waiver and reported Sunday that players were asked to sign a, quote, Buckeye pledge. The pledge commits players to following the school's health guidelines, including participation in contact tracing efforts and reporting of exposure, and acknowledges the risk of contracting COVID-19 even while following these protocols. At Ohio State, those protocols include submitting to coronavirus testing, reporting exposure to COVID-19, discussing symptoms of the virus, including a fever of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, and remaining home if they feel sick. The articles that I saw earlier today made it seem like this was a bad thing for the schools to do. I don't think I agree with that.
Whoa. We need to know, but see, you're not thinking big picture.
Okay.
These are college kids, okay,
right,
who are probably under their parents' health care, or if they're low income, parents are unemployed.
If they're like playing for the school, all of those members of the football team have health care through the school.
Okay, you're right. My question is this: by signing the waiver, did that absolve the school from any medical complications of COVID? All of the things you read are great. They are wonderful. I got no beef with anything you said. Why do you have them sign a waiver? Listen, they didn't sign a pledge. They signed a waiver. A pledge is, I pledge that I will do all these things. I will follow through with all these things. I will do all this stuff. Whatever. That's a pledge. What is a waiver? A waiver is a legal document. Why do I have you sign a legal document? Because I want to make sure that if you come in here and your left tackle has COVID and he's blocking the nose tackle all day long, breathing, sweating on him, whatever, and then the nose tackle gets COVID, gets sick, gets hospitalized, Ohio State can't be liable.
I wonder if this has more to do with like death as opposed to anything else, because you hear, it feels like every football season, players that have an undisclosed medical condition that they didn't even know about.
But that's it. But if you don't know about it, it's not undisclosed. You just,
Or how about this? An unknown medical condition.
Unknown pre-existing condition, yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. You can't ask these kids to sign away something like that. I'm not okay with that. I'm not. Everything that you read off sounds reasonable. There are things on there that you didn't read off because it's a legal document. That's why everyone's saying it's bad. I assure you that this absolves the University of Ohio State University. It absolves them of legal liability if one of their players gets sick with COVID, even if they're following all these guidelines.
Maybe, yeah, you're probably right. And I would imagine we're going to see it more
That's
often.
just not okay. They're unpaid workers.
Yeah.
It's not enough that you won't take care of them medically.
Yeah. Michael said, so the school is not, well, he said first, cover your ass paperwork.
Yeah. Well, and here's the deal. Hold on. So it's not really the medical care. You're right, because Trump has considered all COVID paid for by the government. So there's no health care. So this is for death then.
Yeah.
This is absolutely for death.
Michael said, so the school is not responsible for those medical bills or lawsuits. In worst case, some kid dies. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what this is.
I'm not okay with that. This is a risk that all the schools are taking because of financial necessity. I understand the risk. I'm okay with the risk.
However,
My
asking
problem
them to
is
come in and save your
making
university.
the unpaid help work with them taking all of the risk and get no benefit or security behind the risk.
You're right. I was looking at this from a completely different point of view. I get exactly what you're saying now. I
all
totally
of the things
get that.
you said are 100% reasonable, and you got to put those things in because it makes them, because you can't just say you can't sue us if you die,
Yeah.
because then nobody would sign it.
Well, I mean, in truth be told, like, you can still get it even if you follow all these protocols, right?
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what they're stating, but it's also, okay, well, if it's known that, okay, well, so-and-so was still going out every night and he was still doing this, and there were still a bunch of people coming over to his apartment and whatever else, like, then the school is not liable.
Well, yes, now the
for
school's
that.
not liable for that. That's a different situation. But if you're following all these rules and you sign this waiver and you can't do anything for the with the school to be compensated, or your family be compensated if something happens to you, God forbid, then I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, I think I'm beside with you. Michael said the schools are taking the risk and gain far more from this risk. Yeah, 100%. I mean, the kids are playing because, one, they want to get out there and play.
This is where I'm okay with me, a fan, buying a ticket and on the back of my ticket saying that this is a waiver that you are committing, saying you cannot sue us if you get COVID here or you get sick and you die. Yes, I'm okay with that. That's a choice that I am making to come to a game and cheer for my team. These players have very little in choice. Their choice is sit out the whole season or play, and that's it. They have no compensation outside of the black market money that goes undetected, so we don't know what the real compensation is. Not okay with that. And
if they're not playing, they don't get that compensation.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. If they're not playing, they're definitely not getting that. And we give them a scholarship. I'm just not okay with these things.
Damien said, so wait, they can make the student athletes sign waivers, but they can't let them get paid. What the hell, NCAA?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what we've been screaming on the show for
Technically,
years.
a waiver is a contract.
And
so
yet,
we're going to allow them to sign contracts, but
not contracts for money. It's ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous. All right. Is there anything breaking that we need to hit? I hadn't seen anything.
I haven't looked, but I think we're okay.
I think we're fine. All right. With that said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. This was a hell of a Monday show. Everybody that jumped in the chat, we appreciate all of you. Michael said the NCAA looks out for number one. They could give a shit who wears that helmet. Agreed. William Brown said capitalist restricting financial gain. Go figure. And then the Brown Yeti said, isn't everything voluntary right now? Yeah, 100%. Everything's voluntary. And then Michael said, what kid is going to refuse to sign it, though? There you go.
That's the issue is you're strong-arming kids to doing stuff that's probably not smart for them.
There you go. Michael said,
I signed a bunch of shit when I was younger that I had no business doing.
You got that right. You got that right. I mean, as soon as you turn 18, you start doing credit cards and everything else. I mean, don't get me started on that. We'll be here another hour. All right, Wild Bill said peace out. Of course, hook 'em as well. Michael said thanks, fellas. Gig 'em. Well, boy, we got A&M and Texas on this one. What is going on? Happy Monday to everybody. Hopefully you have had a good day in whatever part of the world that you are in. Hopefully the weather has been treating you right and that work is not going too hard. We appreciate all of you for jumping in here and sharing out the show, all that kind of stuff. Tell everybody you know about it. Click that retweet button. Click that share button. Whatever you need to do to get the word out. Tell your buddy about it. That's the best way to do it. Just tell them to go subscribe to the podcast. That helps. You guys have been awesome. William Brown said boomer. Well, we got some Big 12 stuff going on today. Good gracious. Go subscribe to the podcast. Share the show out. Go to tunicatravel.com, winningcureseverything.com. The new site is up. The new layout is up. Go check it out. Tell us what you think. We appreciate all of you guys. For Chris, I'm Gary. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show, leave a nice review, and make sure to comment and tweet at us.